since Valentine's is coming up, we thought we'd talk about relationships today. We've got Dr. What's your first name?
Jonathan.
Jonathan Good. And Jonathan is a doctor who's got a lot of wisdom and a lot of good sense. And we're going to talk today about things that couples can predict whether their marriage is going to be a good one or it's doomed. How did you come up with this?
And so they have me sitting in this segment too, by the way, because I'm engaged. So
she's engaged.
Let's hear it, Doc.
Be married pretty soon. We do know. John Gottman has done a lot of good research over the last 40 years. The University of Washington, retired now, has a lot of good material out.
All right, what does it say?
Well, basically, we know what makes good marriages work. And you were talking about, Lisa, that you and your fiance were good friends
for 2 years.
And actually, that friendship has been shown to be the best predictor that a marriage will work, above things like commitment, good sex, all of those other things that we would think. Well, also we know that what makes good relationships work is the ability to deal with our negative feelings, and we were talking a little bit about that. I call that being able to legitimately complain without criticizing, because we'll talk about in a minute that
taking it out on the one that you love because it's the closest person to you.
Right. It seems like that person we love the most, we have the most passion, positive passion toward, and the negative anger toward.
Yeah, why is that?
Well, you know that couples who stay married and couples who get divorced fight about the same things. We fight about PMS, power, money, and sex. It's kind of interesting that,
I love that.
They fight about the same things. Couples who stay married, and couples who get divorced, surprisingly, fight about the same amount of time. So, is this the guy you really want to fight with the rest of your life? I would hope you say yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not interested in fighting with anybody else just because I know how to fight with them now. We're really good at it.
Oh,
so
you know what?
We figured it out.
And that is one of the huge differences between couples who make it and couples who don't. Couples who make it learn how to fight fair. Couples who don't make it, they end up fighting with a lot of blame.
Or they don't fight at all.
Or they don't fight at all.
And when you don't fight at all, you get nothing out and nothing gets settled.
So when you say fighting...
And also, it makes the gap wider in intimacy.
You drift.
Yeah.
When you say fighting with blame, that's the bad thing. What's the good side of that? How do you fight that's a good way to argue or to fight?
Well, you make some commitments about how you fight. No threatening, no blaming, no cussing. A lot of couples come into my office and they're just downright mean. They say they're very committed to the marriage, and they may be, but it looks like they're more committed to killing each other.
Sometimes when you're frustrated, you can get real mean. There's a movie called This Is 40. Have you seen this movie?
I have not.
It's hilarious,
no.
And they're talking to each other, and she goes, you know, they want to talk like the therapist told them. She says, it makes me feel very sad when you blah, blah, blah. And he said, it triggers me and makes me angry. So it's funny, but you have to learn how to.
But there's some phrases that you can say. And that is phrases like "you never," "if only," "you didn't," and "you." If you say, when you say that to me, how does that make you feel?
And then will you do something different?
All right,
with
when
that?
you pose a question to them, it makes them think about what they've just said. And somehow, if you can think about what you said in the argument, then it kind of, you realize it isn't so good.
We're going to start calling you Dr. Susie.
That's right.
Well,
go ahead.
Tom
I want to hear your answer.
Excuse me. Tom and I
want to hear the doctor's answer. I was trying to listen to his answer.
I know. I'm going to finish. Tom and I took marriage lessons for 3 years, so that's where I'm coming from.
Good. And so what's your advice?
Well, that gets really close to a legitimate complaint, Susie, when you go to a very specific incident, talk about how it affects you, and then really ask for something different. And that's a quality of couples who make it. They're able to ask for what they want and need. And when in that process of conversation, influence is huge in couples that make it. They're able to give and receive influence. Talking about little phrases, hey, it'd be really important to me if next time we were driving, you would, keep it below 75 or something, or
communication then is the key. You know, there's so many ways we could go about and talk about this, and everybody's different, and yet we're all alike. But if you'd like to get in touch with Dr. Cood, Dr. Jonathan Cood, just head to our website, thebroadcasttv.com, and click on today's links. We could talk a lot lot more about this. Will you come back again?
Well, I sure will.
I would love that.
And when we come back this time, we're going to do a one-on-one with the amazingly beautiful and incredibly talented Bernadette Peters. What a joy she is.